Okay, that's Davido with the song Funds, and I hope you're actually anticipating his album, which is 5, coming out soon. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still tea time on Plus TV Africa. Welcome back from that music break. I told you earlier that we'll be having, an amazing and special guest. Trust me, this person, you can't see her anywhere. It's only here on Tea Time, or you will not see her any place. Like, I'm so excited actually to have her here with us. And ladies and gentlemen, please do me the honor in welcoming one of the biggest producers right now in Nigeria. She is no other person but Karamat Eko. You look gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
My goodness. I've seen someone that's finer than you. I've seen someone that's finer than you.
It is Oma's birthday week, so she's the finest.
April as well?
No, like today, this is her birthday week, so she's the finest, so
We'll talk about our own case later, Jerry.
It's fine.
No.
But it's great to actually have you.
He's trying to get back at me.
It's nice to have you here. How are you doing?
Thank you, I'm fine.
Interesting.
I
I like the way Oma is looking at me.
Oma is making me shy.
I see the radiance.
It's radio voice, that's why I'm looking very gorgeous today.
Right.
Okay, so I know our viewers are already like anticipating who is she, and all of that. So please do tell us a little about yourself,
Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Karamat Eko. I'm 24 as of now. I went to Babcock University, graduate of political science. And I just co-produced my biggest film yet, Radio Voice. Came out April 11. So if you haven't seen it, please run. Okay?
Okay, so you've heard from her. We're talking about the movie Radio Voice, which was released some weeks ago, or days, if you like to put it that way. And that's like one of the biggest movies right now trending. Trust me, if you've not seen it, you need to see it. Maybe after this interview, when you hear a lot about the story and everything that happened in the movie. So Karama, let's just go straight into the movie itself, Radio Voice. When I saw that name, Radio Voice, I said, is this a remembrance for maybe radio presenters, or is this a story that would center majorly on the experience? Because I know radio presenters have experiences, right? So I thought maybe that was like the idea. But I would like you, being now the voice, since we can't have RMD here, you are the RMD that we can see right now, right? So tell us a little about what inspired that story and what the story actually is about. Okay,
so the story is written by Ufoma Misitiri and Isioma Osaje. They co-wrote it together. It's primarily shot in a radio station. It's a story about love, redemption, and second chances. And it also talks about women empowerment and how strong women are as people. It's not necessarily about radio. It's about finding your voice. So what better way to say it than use radio as a medium for this? We had radio presenters in it. And I think the RMD himself was particular about using radio because, hey, people on radio, we hear them, but we don't see them. These are people that we find comfort in without even seeing them. So it's the voice, really. It's about finding your voice. So that's why we use Radio Voice. Yeah. Interesting.
Now, I'm going to talk about myself. Sorry, Oma, but I mean...
It's the way you've been...
So for me, right, I could relate because before I started radio or radio presenting, I wanted an avenue where I could say something, right? I always had this issue with, I wouldn't say shyness, but I just wanted to speak and let people hear my thoughts, hear my opinion about stuff, right? And I think I relate with the story now, and that's perfect. So I don't know, Oma, if you have a question for,
For me, we've seen the crew, we've seen everything, like the people picked and all of that. I want to know why this particular girl, Jasmine, why she was the center of all of this.
Okay. So it's so funny how when Jasmine was auditioning for the role, I was there. It wasn't just her. And immediately she auditioned. Everybody looked at themselves and were like, this is Precious, because that's her name in the film. You know how a generation can dictate how the next is going to go, right? The story, the lead in it is Nancy Sime, that's her mom in the film. And it was very important for her to be in the center of it because her mom's life was almost going left side, right? And we needed to use that to show that it doesn't have to end here. She was very particular about, have you seen the film? Not put you on the spot. Okay, you were at the premiere as well. Yeah. Not put you on the spot. So her mom took her at like utmost care. Everything was about Precious. She didn't want her life to go a certain way because of Precious. So Precious was Nancy Sime's finding force in the film. Before she makes a decision, she thinks about her. So Jasmine, or Precious in the film, was her finding force. Everything she did was because of her. So that's why she was the center of the film.
Interesting. Now, talking about stories, right? As a literature student, I understand they always taught us themes, and, you know, synopses and all of those terms, right? But talking about themes now, every story has a message it wants to like pass across, right? So I would like to know, you already mentioned that the idea of the movie was giving a voice to the voiceless, so to say. And now, was there like any personal experience of maybe any of the cast or somebody outside the movie that triggered, you know, the making of this movie?
Okay, so I would mention the director, but not necessarily all the themes of the film. Isioma Osaje is an only child, and in her director's statement, she would talk about how she had like personal experiences with radio because that is what kept her company as a child, because she didn't have siblings. So we really used that to tell the story, and it was so befitting because she was also the director of the film. So in terms of like radio and how the radio is an important tool for voicing out, finding your voice, that is what we use. We use Isioma's story to direct radio voice.
Nice one. I like that actually. Okay. Okay. All right, please go ahead. No, you went first, so go ahead.
All right, but what really influenced the casting choice, like generally?
Okay.
Because you've been Nancy Simai, we know
a lot of them actually. Yeah. Like, me and the likes,
Blessing and Zay, how were you guys able to jam these powerful people together?
Okay, so when the casting, because the casting didn't go on like in one day, it was different days. We would read the script, we would say, this character, who's going to be the best for it? So the casting was done by RMD himself, right? And because he was so close to this story, the director was also so close to this story, they were very particular about the cast that they chose for this story. I think that everybody did a very fantastic job. Everybody brought their A game to it. So the casting was done by RMD and Isioma. Like Damilola Digby said, it was hard getting her because she had not been on screen for a long time.
Right.
But we gave her a story that she could not resist. A lot of, please, we really love you to do this. Because once you see that movie, they say something about her eyes. Her eyes sold the story for her. Like, it sold the story. So every single cast was handpicked for each character because there was nobody else to deliver it like they did.
Like, everyone was so intentional in this project. Yeah. It's giving everything.
It's giving.
Period.
It's giving. I mean, I like the fact that it was RMD who had to do the whole selection because I can imagine Uncle RMD is somebody who, if you get it all wrong,
call Nancy. She's good for this role.
You get. So I mean, so let's talk about the process now in making this movie. I want to be. I mean, I've had the opportunity to see how it could be tense a lot, where you have to gather all of these big names. You have to feed them. You have to do the welfare thing and all of that. But what was the process like? You've mentioned already the calling part, where you have to call, you have to sort after this person and all of that. But was there any kind of intense pressure in the process of making, the movie itself?
I don't think that there's any set that there's no intense pressure. I think filmmaking, film production, anything that involves a process, there's pressure. I think the hardest thing during this production was actually finding a schedule that fits all these big names. Somebody is free in April, somebody is not free in March. Somebody is free in May, nobody is available in January. Like, it was so crazy. So I think that the cast, the crew especially, there was love in the production of this, right? So even when there was pressure, we all did it happily. After I was done shooting, it literally felt like, hey, I was missing a part of me because I bonded so much with them. So the pressure was really not, we couldn't avoid it, right? But I think everybody brought their A game, cast, crew, and we made it work. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, I want to hear from your own side. You said this is your first.
Yeah.
Now, since you walked in here, you've been smiling, and I can imagine. Trust me, I can imagine what it feels like. So, hearing from you, I want to know, from being a part of this project, because I know this is, it was said that it was RMD production team, so to say, right? And it means you're also part of the team.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel being like, because anyway they mention radio voice now, your name has to come up there as well.
Yes.
So, how do you feel being, gaining all of this attention?
Attention. So I'm not really one that likes to be in the forefront of stuff. Hence me being behind the scenes. I love being behind the scenes. I love a process. I love making the on-screen very beautiful. I don't mind that, right? So this attention has been very new for me, but I'm working my way through it, really. Whenever I'm shy, I have my sister follow me everywhere. Like, I need somebody there in the room to be able to normalize it for me. Yeah. It has been very, very nice. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Yes, this is my first. This was my first step into film production, right? It has opened doors for me that I myself couldn't even imagine. I'm very, very grateful. The attention, I'm still getting very used to it because wow.
I can imagine.
Wow. Whenever I hear my name, I'm like, oh, that's me. Like, literally.
I mean, just the other day, just typing your name on Google, Karamat.
Oh my God, I did that today.
Everything. I'm seeing a lot of entries.
I did it today. I literally did it here. I was like, oh, okay.
Loan.
Yeah. It feels very nice.
On Google.
I'm on Google for the right thing.
Yes,
And I'm like, wow, everything is looking accurate, nice, I like it. So yeah, it's really, really nice. I'm getting used to it, but I'm very, very grateful.
Interesting. I like that. So, anyways,
I want to ask something.
Okay.
So now, yeah, you're new to it and everything. How was the journey like before you got here?
Okay, so it's very important to note that in 2019 or 2018, I actually interned, and I'm doing intern in quotes because I didn't take it seriously, with RMD Productions. I interned, I would go from every department every week to just try something new, do something new. That changed the way I saw movies, right? But I didn't think much of it because at that time I was still in university studying political science. Very far and different from film production, right? So even while in school, I didn't think that I would find myself here. Even while shooting radio voice, I didn't think I would find myself here as well. So the journey before now was good. I've been working on the RMD, so he's always encouraging me. I didn't know what I wanted to do till radio voice. I didn't know I wanted to produce films, right? But immediately I got on sets, I got stuff done. I was like, this might just be my calling, right? And there was not a day that RMD didn't encourage me, really. So yes, the journey before now was not film related, but the journey now is very much film related. That's my burning passion as of right now.
Okay. Wow. I like the way this is going. Actually, a lot of eye opener and all of that. Now let's talk about there's this point of view. I don't know if you've heard about it from any other person, but looking at the storyline, and I mentioned earlier about the thematic side of this particular movie. Now, is there would you say there is a feministic view, so to say, on the side of this movie? Would you say so?
I would say yes, and I would say no. I would say yes because of the behind-the-scenes talk and behind-the-scenes process. This film was produced by 3 women, directed by a woman, and we're obviously going to try to relate our daily struggles as women with our story. And I'll say no because even RMD, a man, saw the need for this story. So I don't think it's a female thing or a feminist thing. These things happen. So whether you're a guy, a girl, woman, man, this story is important to you. So you can also see a POV, because we're genuinely only like privy to what we know, right? But seeing it told by a different person is always important. If it were directed by a guy, I feel like it would be a bit different.
You want to be able to explain it the way it is, right?
Yes, but I know that having a female director for this story was very, very, very important. You always need the soft touch of a woman, right? Because no matter how much we talk about it, you do not know how it feels, right? So you always need to be able to find a balance. And the balance was, whether Isioma was directing, RMD would always be there to oversee. I'm like, yeah, you're telling a good story. So yeah, yes and no for that.
And then it just reminded me of when I interviewed RMD. RMD said something. He said, like they used to say, if you want to do something and you want it to come out really great, get the women.
And he didn't lie.
Word. Oh, you're in high spirits.
I'll bet week.
Okay, so now we've talked about the feministic approach of the movie and all of that.
Yeah.
Now, reading through like the synopsis online and all of that, and there was a part that talked about the whole sex work, which is a thing here in Nigeria, and also the radio aspects and all of that. Now, would you say this movie necessarily, did a little point or touch on Nigeria society in totality? Because this is something that reflects what happens in Nigeria. The whole sex working thing. We know how that experience alone can make people, want to do a lot of stuff. But good thing was that in the movie, it was a good experience because it helped her in relaying her story. Right, which is what we talked about, having a voice to tell your story and all of that. So would you say this movie, Radio Voice, positioned, some of the issues we have in Nigeria and some of the issues we see in the society?
I would say yes. It touched a fraction of it because there are a lot of issues in the world, a lot of issues in Nigeria, right? But we touched the little that we could, really. So Uche, that's Nasensim in the movie, being a sex worker. I think it was important that the story didn't go very clean, if that makes sense. It didn't go like, oh, hey, she's just a regular person. It showed like the places she had to go to get to where she wants, right? But us touching everything, I would say no. We didn't touch everything that's happening, right? But we touched the little that we could.
Interesting. All right, I like that actually. So because of time, what would you say to people who have not seen this movie? Because for me, I won't even lie, I've not seen it yet, but I'll find time, go to the cinema and go watch it, right? Because it's something that interests me. Being a radio person, I would love to know how this story, and everything, like get a full detail of everything that happened. So what would you say to anybody who are not like seen the movie, just to like make them, a little bit attracted?
So I'm going to talk as an audience, right? I'm not talking as a filmmaker or the person that co-produced this movie with very beautiful women. So me, I'm a sucker for love, romance, and this film had a bit of everything. It had romance, it had drama, it had a bit of comedy, had little action. So I think it's really like a buffet. You can get any and everything on it, and it's a feel-good movie. So I went for a screening, I'll call it a premiere, a little premiere yesterday of Radio Voice, and we asked some people that just watched the movie. We said, oh, so what did you enjoy the most about the movie? And they were like, it was so straight to the point, right? It's a movie for any time, any day. It's a classic movie. That's the best way to put it. Because there's a lot going on in this world right now. You need something to just be so soft, so easy, so sweet.
Keep you easy
to watch. And I think Radio Voice is that movie, really. It's a story that we are all so proud of. It's a sweet movie, love, action, drama, anything and everything. Also grief. Your gender, as she likes to call it, your gender.
Okay.
You guys are not really one. You are not really want to talk about grief, sadness from the male perspective, right? But this story also showed how you don't have to put stuff in, you don't have to hold bottle up because you're a guy. You can grieve, you can love somebody, you can forgive somebody, you can be out there with your feelings, right? So yeah, this movie is for everybody. The old, the young, guys, girls, women, men, it's for everybody. So
and just to add to what you said, you know, people see their bad experiences as a bad thing, so to say, but through this movie, I understood that your bad experience is also very relevant for you having a good tomorrow. You know,
I agree with that.
Don't see your bad experience as something that is bad. You know,
there's always a second chance.
Yes,
and it gives you an opportunity to help every other person who has experienced the same thing you did.
Just see it as a process whereby something that if you don't go through it, you might not get to where you're going to.
That's it.
It's you must.
Oma is giving us words today. I think it's her birthday. That's why.
Karamat, let's get to hear finally from you. Okay. Are there other stuffs? I mean, you said this is like your first, you know, but I'm sure a lot of persons would like to see you consistently now. So, are there any other things we should be looking out for?
Okay, yes. So, after I produced Radio Voice, I went on to produce a short film. Actually, 2 short films. I also directed and co-produced my own film in January of this year. So it should be out sometime this year, but it's going to be on YouTube.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm really venturing into different aspects of film production. I tried directing.
Okay.
It was a very crazy experience, but yeah, I really enjoyed myself, like, regardless. So yes, expect a lot. I'm here to stay. Okay.
I like that.
Baby.
I like that.
She's here
All right,
to stay,
thank
guys.
you so
No
much.
going back.
It's been a wonderful chat.
Thank you.
You know, having you here with us on Teatime. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Okay, Oma has to say something. In fact, let me say that for her because tomorrow is Oma's birthday. Right? So let's just quickly sing Happy Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. We'll talk about the sharing of the rice and every other thing later on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to my beautiful host, Oma. Thank you again, Karamat.
Thank you for having
we'll
me.
be seeing you again on the next production here on Teatime. Do not forget you can subscribe on YouTube to follow our content, PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. We'll be looking forward to your comments as well as, you know, some of the content we also drop on YouTube. My name still remains Prezi and this is PlusTvAfrica. Have a nice Wednesday.